It's tea time with Matt and Nolan. So, we are excited to be back. We do apologize for the lack of episodes. We know our loyal fans have missed us and our chill vibes. Jimmy isn't here. We're going to see if he can come back, but, Jimmy, we're very happy for his decision. He's taking a break from teaching, and he's going to be coming back in the spring to work on a second master, so we're very happy about him for that, but we'll see if he can make some appearances. But this is kind of a chill episode, right, Matt?
Yeah. Which I think is kind of like needed since we've just started. Yeah.
I feel like we need to mention, we're recording on September 12th, and I don't want to talk about real life events that much, but with everything that's gone on recently, I think an episode like this is needed to kind of just give people a chance to relax. I think that's the thesis of this show. It's like those there's this like guy on social media I watch a lot. He's like he's an old guy, and his entire gimmick is he'll just walk up to the screen with two mugs and he'll be like, grandbaby, come sit with Papa. I love that guy's videos, and it's like genuinely like I'll see that and I'll stop and I'll listen to whatever and it's like, I think that's what tea time needs to be. We need to be like, but like, we're not old guys. We are, 21? We're both 21?
Yeah, we're both 21.
We're 21-year-olds. We don't do any reckless behavior. We're just here to chill and relax.
Yeah, but I think it's safe to say that we're both like, where they say old in spirit.
Yeah.
Or an old soul.
I joke with people about my hobbies. I build a lot of model kits. You've seen my Facebook, Matt. And it's like, the model kits I built are not old people model kits. I'm building these little plastic robots, but the actual hobby I have of model kit building is such an old guy thing. I know I did two news packages, one in the spring, one over the summer, about a local scale model club, and you look at the demographic of that club, and 90% of that club is older gentlemen, right. Which I don't know. I kind of want to talk about how our summers went, and if you don't mind, I love this scale model story I did. They had an expo at the Doubletree Hilton in Huntington. It was really cool. It was just so cool to go around and because you had one expo room that was filled with all the contest entries, and that was really cool to look. And then you had the vendor section where you had all these guys. And I think my favorite story, there were so many cool people I met. I wouldn't say I made a buddy, but me and a guy, we just started talking because he noticed I had bought a few model kits after I had done my journalistic work. I decided to enjoy my hobby a little myself and treat myself. So me and a guy, it was really fun because me and a guy got to talking about, me and him build the same model kits. I ran into this one duo, young guy around our age actually, and then an older gentleman. And I even looked at them during the interview. I was like, "Are you two grandpa and grandson?" And they were like, "No, we are not." He was the older guy was like, "He could pass for my grandson," but they were just two buddies who had actually met. The younger guy has a YouTube channel called Model Car Guy. And the older fella had actually found the guy's videos, and they just started talking on the internet, and they just became friends. And they found out about this scale model event, and they came here. And then I think my favorite story, though, is this family. They live near Charleston. They're actually from the Czech Republic. The mom and dad had moved to America there for work. I don't think they're set to live in America forever. They're just currently they're here for work. Yeah. But one of the two sons is really into scale model kits. He had gotten into them through an uncle back in the Czech Republic, but they were talking, over there isn't really a lot of people that are into that type of stuff. And so they were really excited when the boy was finding out about this stuff. And in fact, they usually at first I presumed one of the parents was a scale model builder. No, only the young son is. And it was really cool seeing this family. The boy had actually submitted some of his models for the competition. It was really cool to see this family come together. They may not know much about the hobby, but how excited they were. Yes. And they were even even though most of these people are way older than even the parents, it was still really cool. You know, they loved how welcoming and supportive they were, and how excited they were to see them like take an interest in the boys' like skills and actually like want to help him grow. It was a really cute story, and sadly I didn't have a good way to include the audio because it wasn't really clear what was going on. But when I was like recording the interview, the boy had actually ran over because they had a little raffle going on, different model kits as prizes, and he had actually won a military tank he was like he was wanting. So that was a really cute thing, and I wish I could include that, but it was just I don't know. I love it when I get to like do little news stories about hobbies, because I feel like when you talk about your hobbies, there's this level of like personability and humanity that I don't think we get to see in other things.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I heavily agree with the personability and humility, and I mean the humanity that's included with that. And I also think it's really cool that like hobbies can bring people from like different ages, different demographics, different different places as well. Like, for instance, when we were in France for the chamber choir trip and meeting people from a totally different continent that were interested in the same things that we were, it was really cool to see.
You remember the Paris Conservatory group we had dinner with that night? You remember? I remember. They split the group up, so each like set of our groups would have at least one conservatory member at their table. And I remember the guy who sat at my table, me, him, and Sean Price and a few others actually just got to talking about anime for a good bit, just because and it wasn't like someone in our group was talking about how like they actually asked their conservatory member that was with them. Because our tour guy would always go, ooh la la. Yeah. And like he just looked at them and was like, we do not say that. But you are right. That was actually, even though I hated the space we were in just because it was really cramped and like not well, like they had those like colored LED lights. Yeah. So like my senses were overloaded. But like and it was like really like a little too like tight spaced for my liking. It was still really cool just to like be able to exist in the same space as these people that you look at it now, it's like it's just a memory, but just to have that moment of connection, it's really good.
Oh yeah, for sure. It really opens you up, opens your eyes. So right now Nolan, I think, is getting, the tea is boiling.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the tea simmer a little more, sure, just because I think it's a little too hot. Okay. Actually, speaking of tea, the School of Journalism, we've featured Dr. Quick on here twice, and from those 2 episodes, you can tell he's British. This man is British, and he actually, I mean, this man, any chance he can get to host a tea party, he will host. Of course, throughout the week, if you're sitting around and nearby and he comes across you, he'll just ask if you want to join him for tea at like just middle of the day. Over the summer, he does a whole tea party event for alumni and like administration members. Where I was working with the campus radio station, I actually, me and the other station members, we were all invited, and it was a lot of fun. There was a little trivia game of the history of tea. Sadly, I did not win. Actually, I did quite horrible, but he actually did something really cool for. Of course, everyone was invited, but it was mainly geared towards like welcoming freshmen. But he did a little tea party for the new students of the School of Journalism, which was really cool.
That is really cool. Yeah. Now I'm wanting to be a journalism major so I can
have tea all the time. Yeah. No, there was, once again, I love, I'm still acquiring a love of tea, but I've just learned that, like, for me at least, tea isn't something I'm going to drink like regularly, but it's something that I love having in a social space. We actually held a Dead Podcaster Society meeting. We couldn't meet in Morrow because our co-advisor who lets us into Morrow wasn't available that night. So we met in the little conference room in the School of Journalism. And because we were there, Quick was just quick to his feet, like, grab some tea. And here I am like, oh my God, there was this cinnamon flavor from Hardy & Sons, really good. Actually, like, it's one of the few teas where, like, of course it helped that the cinnamon scent was like really strong, but you could actually, like, it was also like, because cinnamon kind of opens up the sinuses, so it was like actually really nice to like have that going through my system.
That's true. I didn't think about that. I didn't even know that they had a cinnamon flavor until now. So I might have to look into that.
Would you like to pass over your mug, buddy?
Oh yeah. So you just put that in your cup.
Yeah.
And then you just put the water.
So right now we are pouring the tea. I think we featured these flavors. Are you also doing the same one as me, or are you doing the chamomile?
I'm doing the chamomile and lavender by Traditional Medicinals. Very stress relieving tea, supports relaxation, as it says on the box. I drink this very often, which is why I only have 2 bags left in the box. I thought I had more. I thought I had like a whole box, but apparently not. But that's okay. Next time I'll bring a full box.
I am drinking the chocolate flavor from Harney and Sons just because I just love the scent of chocolate. Call me. Hold on. I know I have the taste buds of a child, but there's something about that scent of cocoa that just, yeah.
No, it's very good.
Yeah, I love the little shoot, what's it called? The thing that you store why can't I remember the word? The steep. I love the little steep. I've never seen this type before. It's a traditional steep, but the lid for it is a little frog and it floats like a little. Yeah. I really like this. I don't know.
It's adorable. I got it from Kroger a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I need it, please. So, yeah. So, what'd you get up to over the summer, Matt? I think I saw some music being made. Yeah. I'm in the process of creating my first symphony, and I started this back in January, and it's been interesting, just trying to figure out everything that I want to do. But I've completed the first 3 movements of it. The last movement, not really sure what I want to do there. It can be kind of complicated. But yeah, I've been uploading the music onto Facebook, YouTube, just so everybody can listen. And it's been nice seeing everybody's feedback, because before it was kind of, I only told a few people about what I was doing. And now there's people on Facebook and YouTube that know me personally, that know what I'm doing now. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So what was what's the creative process like for making a symphony?
It really just depends on who you are. The way it went for me was, I was like, okay, I just want to create something for an orchestra. And that was it was the first movement. That was the first thing I made. And so I was kind of like, okay, I'm just going to make this. It doesn't really serve a purpose yet. But then as I kept making more and more music, I was like, well, I kind of want this to be a larger work, a symphony. And so that's just kind of how it went from there. It is just, sometimes you really don't know until you're like, okay, I have all these things I need to make it, so why not just make a full symphony out of it? So
is there like I know like some people when they make their music, there's like a whole theming and whatnot. Is there like a specific like theme and whatnot around it, or is it just sort of a, you're just making something that really sounds nice to the ears?
Well, I would say each movement has specific themes all throughout it, but there's no like one particular theme throughout the whole thing. It's all, because there's 4 movements and there's at least one theme in each movement, right? So, yeah, there's quite a few themes that you see in the symphony, but I didn't really come up with it with like any idea in mind. It was just kind of, I don't know. I mean, I know people, it's kind of cheesy when people say like, oh, the music just came to me, but it kind of did in a way. You just gotta keep writing what you think is nice, and even if it sucks, to put it blatantly, even if the music sucks, you gotta write it just to get that idea out there. If it doesn't work, you just go back to square one.
I think that's kind of the whole creative process in general. I know I'm taking an honor seminar about like based around this book called The Creative Act. And what I'm learning is like, yes, like for example, if you're writing a novel or something, it's important to keep in mind things like, the overarching themes of a story and like what's the purposes. But we're having these authors that are actually working at Marshall come in and talk to the class, and this overarching thing I'm hearing is that, like, yeah, sometimes they might have like a central theme that they want to focus on, but for the most part, a lot of times things like those overarching themes and like what the piece is supposed to speak about, and those actually usually come after the thing is made. Usually, once the author or what would you call yourself for a maestro? Like what is the term for someone who's writing music? Composer, yeah. The author, the composer. A lot of times, those themes that that so many of us will interpret from is usually after they've already penned it. And like, yeah, it's clear that this was in the back of their minds, but maybe this wasn't the first thing they were thinking about. I think that's really, it speaks to the ability of humans to look beyond and always find deeper meaning in something.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because there's a lot of things that a composer or an author might not even think about, but then the reader or the listener is like, oh, well, that's obviously what they were intending. Yeah. That makes total sense. And then the author and the composer is like, I didn't think of that, but yeah, I guess it does make sense. It's like I didn't even realize.
I realize now we didn't grab napkins.
Well, I can get a paper towel.
Yeah, Matt has now fetched paper towels. I don't want the tea to set for too long. Ooh, I can still get that nice chocolatey scent. I'm a little scared because like every time I drink tea, it's always like, I don't know, my tongue functions weird in the sense of like my body's a little weird in the regulation in the sense of like, if something's like a little chilly, it'll be a little too cold at times, and then if something's just warm, it might like, at least for me, it'll scald, even if it's just like something lukewarm, Yeah. So I kind of want to just sit and talk a little more.
Makes sense.
So, what else did you get up to over the summer?
Well, my girlfriend and I went to Columbus for vacation. I will say driving through Columbus can be very intimidating at times compared to like driving through Huntington or even Charleston. It's a bit of a pain. People in Ohio,
Yeah. They're in Ohio. What do you expect,
Yeah, exactly.
Me and my family, we went to Niagara Falls, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's really funny because, like, I had no, like, when I go on a trip, unless, like, there's, like, some weird, funny thing that I know I can do, I usually don't have, like, expectations of a trip. I'm there for the vibes, I'm just there to have fun, enjoy my time. And so, years ago, these guys on the internet did a whole road trip where they went to every rainforest cafe in America. I had forgot about that video until me and my family had joked about how there was a Margaritaville near Niagara, New York.
Ooh.
Because the running gag was for my 21st birthday, I wanted to go to Margaritaville. We did not get to do that because April was just so packed with stuff going on that we just could not find a time. By the time we finally did have time, I was starting my summer job. My brother was starting his summer job. So we just didn't have a good time. And there was one in Niagara, near Niagara Falls, except it was on the Canadian side. And I'm the only one in my family with a passport, so we had to pass that up. But then I saw, we had gone to Niagara Falls because we went for 4th of July weekend. Yes, I know the irony of going there for 4th of July weekend and being on the side where, even though you're in New York, you're looking at Canada the whole time. Yes, I understand that is ironic. Some of my buddies at the radio station were giving me crap for it by going like, that's the most un-American place you can go, blah, 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 blah. But it was really cool. I mean, like, they had the fireworks go off, and then they had these colored lights that would, like, shine all the colors. And, of course, like, they would hit every color, like green, purple, and blue. But, like, they were mainly doing, like, white, red, and blue on the falls. And it looked so pretty. I think you might have saw the photos online that I posted. It was just...
I don't know if I did.
It was a fun time. So, like, I was really excited when, like, like we walked past a Rainforest Cafe, and I was like, I know where we need to go. So, you know, I got to experience our Rainforest Cafe for the first time, but it was a lot of fun. We went on the little boat ride up to the that, like, you know, you go down into the falls and it takes you right up to the waterfall. And so, like, of course, I'm over here having to wear the little poncho they give you in the most like unfun way to wear it ever, because, like, you know, I got glasses. If these things get wet, it's going to take forever for them to dry, and if I do try to dry them myself, they're going to get smudged. So I'm over here like wrapping the hood of the poncho all around my face as like I'm just getting blasted with gallons of, oh, it's so cool. Did you know the first person to go over, not just the first person to go over the falls in a barrel, but also the first person to survive was a woman?
Really?
Yeah. The other funny thing is everyone who has gone over the falls has, like, it's there's this, because, like, there's another attraction you can go where it's like they take you, they have you show you a little video about the history of the falls, then you go actually down and you do a little walking path, and it's pretty cool. But as you walk through the tunnel to, like, take you down to near the falls so you can go up the little trail path, it's really funny because there's, like, all these little information things. Like, the second person to go over the falls and survive in a barrel was a dude who, like, either a few months or a few years later would die in his hometown by slipping on a banana peel. And it's like, and it's like, I don't know, man. I know, but it was a beautiful place. One of my favorite trips ever. Me and my family had this running gag of, like, you know, with how busy we are, and, you know, I have to start my professional career. My brother's graduating high school. You know, this was really our last time to go on a vacation for the next few years. So I was happy that it was, like, this big of a vacation, and it was nice. You know,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That'd be a great place to go. I've always wanted to go there.
I would recommend it. It is a beautiful place. Yeah. We you know, there's that warning of, like, sadly, I think hotels are a partial scam. The farther you are away from the falls, the more natural and normal the hotel rates are. But the actual, like, hotel rates that are near the falls, like, that are actually in Niagara, New York, that are, like, next to the falls, it's like they're way more expensive. And even then, you have to pay separate for breakfast. Breakfast isn't included. And it's like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's awful. I mean, and it's like that with, like, Times Square. I remember I went to New York City once, and the people I went with, they paid for a hotel that was right beside Times Square, and I cannot even imagine what the price must have been for that. Yeah. It must have been insane. Luckily, I didn't have to pay for it. Yeah. I was only 18 at the time.
Other than that, my summer was mainly me working for the radio station. Did 2 radio programs. Started one called Y Radio that's kind of in limbo right now. I had some wonderful little episodes. Did one with Dr. Quick. Did one with Trey K from Public Broadcasting. Did some with my coworkers, and even did one with these 2 old guys from a local radio station where I grew up in St. Albans. And that actually is my personal favorite, just because I had actually worked with these 2 guys before back in high school when I was like, I would come up, specifically one of them I would, like, shadow during his DJ shift. And so it was a great little, it was nice because I hadn't actually talked, his name was Buzz Browning. I haven't actually talked to Buzz in years. Me and him follow each other on Facebook, but just because I'm, like, always here in Huntington, I don't get the chance to go down and visit him. So it was really nice to get to see him. And it was also nice that he remembered me. So
that's cool. That's like a full circle moment.
Yeah. And then I started up something with Alligator Jackson. I'm not going to get too far into that one because, like, I feel Rocking the Herd's vibe doesn't match Tea Time because that man is wild. But that one's a lot of fun. We got it's a lot of fun. I know you remember our buddy Micah. Me and him have been talking, and him and his the band he's a part of. They're gonna be on which by the time this episode goes out, that episode will either have aired or maybe not. I don't know. Either way, it's, you know, I like Rocking the Herd because, you know, I'm able to, you know, learn more about local artists, but also get in touch with some people I haven't had a chance to talk to. I think that's what I really love about my career is I'm finding these ways to, like, interact with people I haven't. I think the beauty of journalism is just, like, the communication aspect, the connection aspect, you know? Yeah,
I agree. Especially, because I feel like Marshall has a great sense of, like, community to it.
Well, like, before we started recording. Me and some buddies were getting lunch together, and Brad Smith was just sitting in the plaza, and the three of us got a selfie with him. It's great. Like,
yeah, I feel like we're all really connected in a way that a lot of colleges aren't. I feel like a lot of it has to do with social media as well, like whether it's TikTok or if you've ever heard of Yik Yak.
Oh God.
Have you heard of that?
I'm on it. It's okay. It's an event.
Yeah. Some people, they post very
interesting things. Yeah.
Interesting things. So, but I mean, obviously, we're not gonna detail all of that.
Especially because right now, that app's kind of like a dumpster fire because of recent events. So
yeah, for sure.
I think now's a good time to maybe encourage the audience, some audience participation by let's do some breathing exercises. Breathe in for 5, out for 5. Just you ready?
I was born ready.
Go.
Should have got some windscreens for the mics.
Yeah, but breathing exercises. Do your breathing exercises, folks. But
or in the context of tea, sipping exercises.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very happy that I had this summer, especially with it being my last summer before I go to start working full time. I think it was I think it's my best summer yet. I don't know about you, but like a lot of great things happen, and I'm not going to talk about those great things because some other things happened as a product of those that that he is helping me heal through. So
for sure,
I don't know. Yeah. The first few weeks of the actual school semester has been a little rough for me, trying to get back in the groove of things.
Yeah, but it's like that a lot. Yeah. It's a matter of being patient and just going through the motions.
Life
one day at a time.
Yeah, I live my life with a very I call it my ride the wind mentality. I don't chase life. I just follow life, and I think that's a good mentality to have. Oh yeah. If you don't take time to just sit back and just let life do its own thing, I don't know. I don't think it's good to chase in life because at what point are you going to be starting to forget all the things around you that you could be chasing as well? If you just chase one thing over and over, at what point are you going to miss out on so many other things?
That's true. And, whether you're chasing like a job, your career, or
friends, romance,
tea
even,
that's sometimes you just got to balance things out.
Yeah. Life is all about a healthy balance of things.
Yeah.
It's all about remembering to, love yourself and love others, And I think that's sort of the beauty of just tea time. It's just taking the time to sit back and say, life is great, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we should have like some Uncle Iroh type of wisdom, like.
No, I mean, it's a great thing that you just said is life is all about having a healthy balance on things. Mm-hmm. And it's great when you can have people that accept your boundaries and they respect like the time that you give to other things. Like I told my girlfriend, I was like, hey, I got to do tea time today and I'm going to practice and then I'll come over.
Like balance your priorities.
Yeah, exactly.
Treat your priorities fairly. If you put all your time into one priority, then where's the fun in life? Yeah. Where's the balance? Where's the nuance?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Because I feel like we'd get copyright struck, but also because I don't know the lyrics. So like, there's that part of me that's like, should we just start singing like "Leaves from the Vine"? But also like, all I know is that "Leaves from the Vine." I don't know the full song.
I don't even know if I know that song.
I've randomly gotten onto like Uncle Iroh wisdom accounts, which is why I know like the opening line of "Leaves from the Vine," but I've never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I promise I will watch it.
I never have either.
Yeah, I think I grew up just late enough that like Avatar was ending, but I grew up at a time where like I was able to watch Korra, and I thought Korra was cool, but then like they started getting wonky with like, well, that was actually around the time like Paramount and Viacom was like cutting their deal with Suddenlink, so like everyone knows that like Legend of Korra isn't that great, but like all I remember is like the first 2 seasons, then just like it was gone. And I was like, oh, dang. But, you know, hey, life is going chill.
It's like most TV shows nowadays. They hardly last.
I would rather a good TV show that's only one season and knows when to end than a TV show that goes on forever. And, you know. That's
true. Yeah. I've seen some great TV shows that only have like 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah. Like Glow. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I've never heard of it. It stands for Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and they're just women from the 80s that wrestle, and they have their own wrestling promotion. And it's an amazing show, but it only lasts like, I think 3 seasons or 4 seasons, and it never fully ended. They just Netflix cut the show, just randomly, and I don't like that, but it was such a good show.
One thing I'm kind of getting a little Debbie Downer with this advice now, but you know, I don't use streaming services, but it's interesting because I've learned through news about streaming services of just, I don't know. I think one beauty of like the ride the wind mentality I live with is that like I understand and recognize the limited time we have. You know, everyone's mad because Netflix is cutting all this stuff from streaming services because, you know, it's like, wasn't it like they released Happy Gilmore 2 and then like within a few weeks they were like, actually we're pulling Happy Gilmore 1 from our service, and it's like,
that is kind of,
and it's like, now Happy Gilmore came out when physical media was still around, but like look at all these Netflix shows that like we're losing and we will never get back because they do not have physical copies, you know. I think there's something very important about, I don't know, during my rough period, the last few weeks, I've learned that it's really hard on you if you try to like force yourself to forget about stuff, if you just try to block it out, and you can't obsess over what happened. But I feel like it's okay. I know everyone's like, when something horrible happens, they're just like, you know, move on, you know, don't look at it. And it's like, I think it's important to not dwell, but contemplate it every once in a while and be like, not think what could have been done differently, but think, what have I learned from this, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's really important to think about things like that with a positive outlook and as a learning experience.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe this time, or maybe next time I'll do this different, or instead I'll do this. Yeah. So it's good to take things away from that.
Yeah. But, you know, life is scary, and sometimes the lesson isn't going to be obvious. And I've learned that when the lesson isn't obvious, take a break. Make some tea, you know? Mm-hmm. Do you think we should? I don't know. Part of me is like, once again, I'm afraid of copyright strikes, but like part of me is like, do I just like bust out the harmonica and like, I don't know. What?
I'm very interested on what would be a copyright strike in this scenario. Unless you're,
because I kind of want to play Zelda's Lullaby, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that'd be a good.
I thought you were gonna play like Piano Man.
Oh, I can play Piano Man. Like. Yeah, like I can do that, but you know.
Perfect tea music, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we want to end it with like a little bit of a Zelda's Lullaby? I don't know. Like,
why not?
I don't know. Like.
This has been tea time.
Yeah. I apologize for the botched ending there. I promise next time I'll do better. But
we're gonna have a harmonica, a guitar.
Not every time, but yeah. We need a jam session tea time, but
piano, drums, everything.
But you know, this has been tea time with Matt and Nolan. And Matt, any final words?
For all the students out there, do your homework.
Study and take care of yourself.
Yes, please.
And drink tea.
Yes, drink tea.
Goodbye.